Good morning, and thank you very much for joining us. I am Yori Folani. Thank God it's Friday. Still some serious business to discuss before the later part of the day takes over the TGIF label. But, very fine morning to you. And right now in studio, I'm alongside Chuks Nwoko, publisher, MDG Global Magazine. He's also a public affairs analyst. As always, thanks a lot for coming on, Mr.
Thank
Nwoko.
you for admitting me.
Indeed. And Mr. Evans Ofeli, a lawyer and public affairs analyst. Delighted to have you.
Thank you.
I can see you've
Good
already
morning.
started the TGIF. I don't blame you at all.
Technically.
Technically. Now, some serious matter. The president had this dinner with people who didn't win in the primaries, APC primaries. And everybody knows that, first of all, Governor Okorocha and Governor Amosun had their, what does one say? Had their issues because their preferred choices didn't indeed emerge. I think I'm happy with that phraseology. Their preferred choices didn't emerge. But after the meeting with the president, which was because there had been these rumblings, let's talk about these guys, we're all in one family, we should look at this as everybody is a winner. Foul would appear to be remembering Chief Zebediah Nwoko. Foul seems to be the disposition of the two governors, because they have alleged that the chairman of the party is really, quote unquote, the troublemaker for them. Chairman has responded that whoever is complaining, they're in a minority. We followed the rules, we followed the regulations, and it lies where it fell. And so people should just leave it like that. Gentlemen, what do you think about this matter in the ruling party that's come on board? And I'm reminded, we all are, I think, that before APC became the ruling party, they were not moderate with their criticism of the then ruling party, But
We were not, all of us.
All is fair in love and war, as they say. So it seemed like if we had a different situation, things might be different. Gentlemen, how different are things now from then? Let me start with you, Chuks.
The things are not different. It wasn't just APC that was bad-mouthing PDP for this type of rumblings that you have now in APC. Nigerians, we were. I couldn't comprehend why all the things that were going on in PDP at the time was going on. Now we have found out that there's no difference between APC and PDP.
Well, I wouldn't go as far. Well, I'm sure APC people will say, that's what they always do. When people say what you say, and there are many that have said what you said, by the way.
Yes.
There are many who have said what you say.
How do you distinguish, now that I'm speaking about this topic, how do you distinguish it? They have rumblings, they have whatever. I give it to APC, like I argued with one of your colleagues. The party itself is the highest level of political engineering I have ever heard of or seen in the whole of the world. I have looked through history books and you give it to them. But that is maybe the more reason they have these issues. That's number one. Number two is also because they are made up of Nigerians. And maybe that's the way we are.
Well, when you say they're made up of Nigerians, there are clubs, there are segmentations.
Yes.
People, soulmates,
yes.
People of a similar disposition, similar psychological approach, we join that given club. For example, you don't have any interest in tennis whatsoever. What are you doing in Yoruba Tennis Club?
Absolutely.
Look for the golf club or whatever it is, or the athletics club.
Absolutely. But the difference between what you just mentioned by referring to the club is that in that club, they have rules and regulations. He did not say that they do not have disagreements. Mm-hmm. He didn't say so, but they have rules and regulations. Now, what does rules and regulation do? In fact, in your own personal life, you have people that you have relationship with. Do you know what you have in common? There are rules that govern that relationship. And so if your kids run across those whatever, you are the one who is the owner of the house, or you are the eldest in that relationship. You are the one who probably set the rules. That's what the political parties lack. Self-discipline and all that. And you have the issues that you raised about Okorocha and Amosun. Why are we discussing it today? Because somebody somewhere is not obeying the rules or not following the guidelines or following instruction or wants to lord it over a larger population and all that.
Now that sentence,
that
sentence, Chooks, both parties are saying the same thing. The governors are saying exactly what you said. Somebody's trying to lord it over us, not following the rules. The chairman, the party speaking, through the chairman, is saying precisely the same thing.
So it's left for us.
Followed
So it's left for us to see who is in the minority here. For instance, the example that the chairman of the party gave is that, look, it's just a few of these governors that are offended, and that he cannot drown his conscience with any of these things that are going on and all that. That with a clear conscience, he believes he's right. And someone like me who's not a member of the party, I'm listening to him. And I'm listening to this governor make his on-air announcement. And I'm saying to myself, what is going on here? Because your personal interest has not been enhanced, as it were. And you've been in power for 8 years in your state. You have not been able to attain, what will I call it? Attain your self-set goal. Now, look, the major problem that APC had before now was that they didn't have that kind of leadership that was able to assert itself. And I think that Oshomole represents that. In fact, I stopped calling him Oshomole for a while now. I was somewhere and I said his name is Oshuputin. Because every time I see him, you have a character of Oshomole and Putin. Putin of Russia put together. I was talking to your colleague Ify and I said his name is Oshuputin. Now, he might have crossed the line here and there, but for the first time, this political party has been able to assert that political supervision that it was lacking. And I think that's the direction to go.
What do you think, Evans?
Well, to bring a balance to it, my own part, I feel that I am glad that Oshomole is now aware of the fact that the same sheep he spares, or the same sheep that he champions in terms of being assertive, okay, and then trying to create a standard for the party, that there is also a backlash to that effect, that people who are not also happy with the kind of style, maybe because of their interest, because of their political leaning, their belief, their ideologies, also that has also kept him a little bit calm, as it were, today. He is no longer the lion of the tribe of the political APC. He's no longer that very vociferous, and I had complained that
he's chilled a bit.
Yeah, he's chilled a bit, and that is fine, okay? Now he's learning more than just being the leader of the party, okay? But that aside, talking about
but it seems that in between them, maybe between what you've said and what you're about to say, is this whole business about it can't be business as usual? President Buhari said it on coming into power, on his way to assuming office, and Oshomole has sort of shown that disposition that, gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen, it's not going to be as business as usual. We've got to save this party, and we just do it by doing what parties do, by the rules. And as you say, there are those that this will affect their personal interests, which I think Oshomole referred to as that. Well, let's just not critique. Let's just not use any words, as their personal interests are not being met.
Yes, I mean, what Oshomole did when he got into power, as the chairman of the party, is not totally wrong, because at that time the party seems to have gone down the drain. It got to a point even the electors did not understand really what the position of the party, as it were, in terms of leadership, up until his arrival, and then he set the ball rolling. And now you have a direction. You
got a few, well, more than a few enemies in the process.
Yes, now you have a direction. But I want to take on Okorocha and Amusu, of the state, Imo State and the Ogun State.
Because they're not the only ones complaining, but let's take those two.
Since we are talking about them today, I think that governors should learn how to serve for either 4 years and 8 years and leave that particular place. Because what we have is this: when they serve for 8 years, they want to install someone. Is there something they are not telling us? Must you always have someone who you must... The Constitution did not say that the governor must bring someone as a successor. I mean, the Constitution is silent about that. But I think that in democracy, modern democracy, and the ideology should be that after your tenure, you allow the electors or the electorate to choose a successor. But that is not what the case is here. And the problem we're having is because these governors don't want to let go. even the 8 years seems not to be enough for them. They still want to, assert themselves. They still want to get someone put there and control from, the governors who...
But that doesn't even always work out, as we have seen.
Yeah, because the governors who before now have complained about godfatherism and all that is a big problem. They have now become the real cash cow. They have now become even the real godfathers here, as against the armchair godfathers who, these are now, they are supposed to be executive governors, after which they are supposed to be former governors. But now they are not satisfied with being executive governor. They want to be executive godfathers. Okay, they want to live and keep part of themselves there.
I imagine they
and
do
that is where the
contribute
problem is.
I imagine maybe some have the mistaken notion that because as governors they are contributors to the coffers of the party, people should look at what's going on and give us a little, in their estimation, a little respect, a little leeway here. But to now come and slam us with all the rules, all the laws, the fine print of the laws, that is what people are objecting to. And I imagine that's what the president sought to bring to the fore at this dinner he had with all those parties to say, look, guys, let's talk. We still have one common objective.
I think that even these governors, I think they are being, some of them are being very presumptuous. Because currently, you have a father and son in Akwa Ibom State that are falling apart just under 4 years. Way back in Delta State, you had a former governor in 1999. After 8 years, he had been able to create an empire, create a PDP family as it were. So you have this tight-knit family. So when it was time for election in 2007, Omoagege, Okowa, and Oduanga, these family members, they were jostling for power. But you have this guy who is a superintendent over this family who says, okay, you know what, let's have this primary. And it was arranged so Oduanga emerged as governor. After 8 years, Okowa was supposed to be the next in line, representing a different ethnic groupings and all that, because the initial governor is from Urobo. The other guy was from Delta South. Now it was time for Delta North. A sitting governor looks for a retired, or retires a civil servant, trying to disrupt that family hierarchy and all that. Somehow,
that family arrangement.
You are trying to amuse me. So eventually this senator, this guy who had left to go and become a senator, returns home, becomes governor and all that. And they have fallen apart. They are falling apart. So you have these two governors called Okorocha and Amosu, and they are not learning, even where they have present history, that if you don't, maybe it's even God that is trying to intervene, because if you put your son-in-law in that place, and after 4 years and you guys fall apart, because, see, you cannot control human beings for even your own children, even his own daughters, even his own wife. You know how difficult to bring people under your control? Yeah. Maybe God is trying to safeguard and protect his family. Maybe he's just...
Exactly. Although
what are you wanting to impose?
Although there's probably, technically speaking, nothing wrong in people having a preferred candidate, but as long as they realize that it's not just me, I have to work it such that it's the choice of the electorate as well.
Yes,
so the electorate will do the bidding that I already have. Not that I don't really care what the electorate is thinking. I have brought this person forward. Why won't people show respect?
That is exactly.
And that's another theme that we've heard from different people.
Why
won't people show a little respect?
But in case of Amosu, I can agree with the postulation that you're putting forward. But in Imo State, Okorocha, our own people from the southeast are not like that.
Okay.
You get to put your cultural influence into your decision making.
Okay.
And what integrity is he bringing to the table? Those are the things. Igbo man will not allow you to do that.
I would have thought, because it's not in a place where you can decide a unitary system where everybody will come together to understand what your projections are, your ideologies are. We're talking about Republicans, people who are Republicans by nature, and in that area they will not allow for such kind of thing to flee. But I want to talk about the fact that if the fracas were to be about development, I would love to talk about it. Maybe if it were to be that, okay, because, I have social projects and this project have not been completed, I have someone who understands how to, then I would like to talk about it. Then we'll look at indices and look at how we can talk about it. But nothing is about development.
Or is it an ideological coloration that someone totally subscribes to and that will pay us all better?
Or better.
Or that the legacy
that would
that
have
you
made
want
sense.
the
You
person that you're
understand?
bringing to
That would
us.
have made sense. But here it's just about interest. I just want someone there who will cover me, who will cover all the wrongs I've done.
Well, you are the
and
person
all
saying
that.
it like that. That's not
And
the
I'm
way
the
the
one saying
governors say it. That's not the way the governors
Well,
say
it's
it.
part of what it is.
Because of course.
It explains why they.
What do you want to put?
It explains why they look like they are the ones even contesting the election. We saw that in Ekiti. At some point, we didn't even know who the candidate was. You understand?
Yeah.
And this is the same candidate that that's going to fall out with you in the next 2 years. If you look at Anambra State, what happened between Peter Obi and the current governor, Obiano? What happened? Okay? And then if you look across the state, you always find that happening all over the place. So people should understand, if I were to be a governor, I will serve my 8 years or 4 years and leave the place, ask the electors to do the needful, get the next governor through their PVCs. And that is the best way to go about democracy.
Maybe from what we've seen and heard and experienced, maybe you're saying that because right now you're not a governor. If tomorrow you become a governor,
No, what I will do is what I'm telling you.
Then you begin to explain to us how, you need to be inside to see how this thing works.
No, if there's nothing to hide, if there's nothing to hide,
Okay.
why do you really want a successor to come from you? I mean, that is...
Well, it doesn't.
I don't think there's anything wrong. I don't think there's anything wrong wanting a successor
yes.
to come from you.
you know, a governor is
but-
minority, is one person.
Yeah, but
Yes.
The larger society should
but that
decide.
desire,
you need to-
that desire cannot be taken from an individual. That,
You need to work at
for
it.
instance, in Lagos, I think that's what happened. You have, don't forget how Lagos State started here in our presence in 1999. The first thing that was done that for many months, nothing was going on after that election when Asiwaju became governor. For many months, we complained. Fani became offended. So many people were grumbling that where's the governor of the state? But what was going on was that you had this 29-member committee and all that. And the only person I knew in person and by name at the time that was part of that committee was Professor Tommy. But Fashola was there. I didn't know him. I didn't know there was any character like that. But for you to be able to groom people at that level, where you have the defunct governor, ex-governor of Osun State, these guys were members of that team. And they were working on the ground. Do you understand what I'm saying? They were working on the ground. And so
With a common purpose.
Yes.
All of them.
For
With
the
a common purpose.
And if you take the booklet...
Because we're seeing discordant tunes now.
Absolutely.
Yes.
But if you take the booklet for Lagos State, I have a copy of it, you will see that whatever. So they had done their work, and by the time they came out, they said to us, we're laying the foundation of what is going to drive Lagos and all that. Now, these people, like you rightly, Vice Ophelia just said,
yes.
it is not development that is the motivation for what is going on or an ideology that is going on in Imo State or Ogun State. By the way, on Tuesday, some guy was going back to abroad. I was waiting for him in the airport. He was in Owerri. Why are you so late? He said he was in there's a road called Weda Road in Owerri. He said he was in traffic for 2 hours. That's this guy. Yes, that's where this man has been governor for 8 years.
Okay. Sam in Abuja, good morning. Thank you for calling in. Oh, I left it too long.
Sorry
I
about
left it
that.
so too long. I'm so sorry, Sam. Sam, see if you can get in again. The call dropped or whatever. That's the way they say it. So when the president invites these gentlemen to this meeting, so these two let their feelings be known that they're still not happy. That, I'm sure, is not the result or the effect that the president would have wanted. I'm guessing, not a mind reader, but the fact that he had called this meeting together was to let's make peace within a family, and as you were saying, as the head, so to speak, of this our unit of this family, let's just let's just not do anything to compromise our unity, because we need that more than anything else. Because with this crack, if you're not careful, I don't know, every person has its own followers. Every idea has its own followers. there are those, you know, in short, this I don't think is working towards unity in the party. But let me bring in Reverend Dominic. Good morning, Dominic.
Good morning, Chief Rodi. How are you?
Thank you very much for coming on.
Good morning, Chief.
Good morning, sir. Reverend.
Good morning, your colleague there.
Good morning.
Evans.
Let me just start where you stopped.
Sure.
From my own state. I'm from Imo State.
Okay.
Precisely from Mbise. There's a day one of our friends who was Imo Assembly came to our studio. And I tried to criticize and he jumped on me. If you get to Imo today, or where precisely, it's a shame. It's a disgrace. You won't believe that somebody is governing there for 8 years. And this young man, we put our hands together 8 years ago and brought him to power. When our Hakim become something else, he will look at the bus stop that was there before his father. He called it our Hakim bus stop. We said this is nonsense. Now we brought in this man. We thought it's an entrepreneur. It's a man who has experience. We don't know. I'm sorry to use this word. It's a common thief. Sorry to use that word.
Oh dear. You know, but Reverend Dominic, you know you can't say those kind of things on TV. You know.
I said I apologize for that word, but this one is it. This man is owing for almost 1 year. A monument, you know, where it cost 500 million. But your own staff. Sorry, sir. I'm sorry, sir. Sorry, can I continue?
Please continue.
This man is owing for almost 1 year, you know, where workers, pensioners. But a monument, you know, whether it is man from South Africa or Salif, it costs 500 million, a monument. What the monument is going to do for the people of Owerri to cry aloud? Why are you putting monument in Owerri? And at the end of it, he came from Olo, or Hakim came from Olo. His son-in-law came from Olo zone too. Can't you pick somebody from another zone so we can support you? And you want to force that to us? It is not possible. That is my right way. Let me talk about Oshomole. If you can roll back your tape, when Oshomole came on board and the kind of character he brought in, I told you he would go a coalition course with the governors. Today you can prove me right. Go back to your tape. I told you we go coalition course because these governors are monsters in their own way. You can't control them. They want to exercise their own will. But Oshomole has done well. But in a nation like Nigeria, a man Oshomole cannot excel. That is my contribution. Thank you.
Well, thank you very much. Nevertheless, the APC, the ruling party, appears to be pushing on. I think I was reading somewhere that Senator Bola Ahmed Tinubu has given the nod to, you know, the way Oshomole is going about his business. I guess that's the kind of guy that...
and I think the president was also very tactful by calling them together.
Exactly.
But
no victor, no vanquished.
Yeah, but you know is what the governors, the way they feel is really much more than what the president think about it.
Yes.
They feel that they have been battered. They should be respected. Their, you know, opinion and whatever it is they want should fly as far as the party is concerned. But that cannot always happen because it's not just the interest of two persons. I mean, the party is a big party.
It's not personal. It's not personal. I think we've heard Lagos was I think it's all like that everywhere, but Lagos demonstrated most clearly to us the other day that it's the party that presents the candidate. It's the party. You know, no one person can. Anyway, there's someone waiting on the line. I don't want to lose that one as well. Emeka, good morning.
Good morning.
Please go ahead.
Yes. You see, I'm from Imo State too.
Yeah.
Rogers Okrocha has been dead for some time. On time, yes. Rogers Okrocha has been there. He's a defeat. He's a defeat.
He's a what?
His word. Rogers Okrocha, as far as Imo State is concerned, is a disappointment. He has not done anything in Imo State. Nothing. He knows, he was telling us some time ago that he didn't have it for the indigent people of Imo State.
Yeah, but it's not about Rochas or Okorocha now. It's about his preferred candidate.
Yes, his preferred candidate is where he wants to go and hide so that he cannot be probed. He finds a person who will cover his deeds while he's not in office.
Okay. That's how you see it.
The preferred candidate is nobody. If the preferred candidate is serious, why is he seeking for him? Why not the man seek for himself?
Okay.
Eh? Why not think for himself? Why should Rochas Okorocha be seeking for him?
What do you think this then means? Hello? What do you think it...
For himself.
What do you think it means then when the president appeals for peace, but these two gentlemen still are not happy?
Yes, the truth is that the deed has been done. When the wall has a crack, you use 10 bags of cement and patch it, the crack is still inside. Understand that? That's the truth. There's nothing you can do about it. They have failed.
Oh dear. Okay.
There's nothing about it.
Okay. Thank you. But I guess the president's
Okorocha will not accept what this medicine that is trying to force down the truth of the people. He will not accept it.
Okorocha,
yes.
if he were on the other side,
yes.
will not accept it.
I think that part of the problem or challenge he's facing is the fact that he labored so hard to plant that party in that state. And he's been alone. He took Apga, did all the magic that he spoke to the people, he did a lot of verbal mobilization and tinkling with the minds of the people, mobilizing. He did a lot of work. And I think he's been rewarded with being a governor for 8 years.
So now I want to extend the legacy.
Yeah, why you not extend? Because it's beautiful to be governor. Otherwise, why do you want to go to a state? Why do you want to go and be governor if it's a dirty job, a job where you're not well compensated and all that? I think that they made a lot of benefit. For me, I have always liked Amosu.
Yeah.
Because, being an Ogun State man, by the kind of relationship that I had with the people there, from Ijebu-Ode. Have you ever gone into Ijebu-Ode? As far as I'm concerned, I think that the landmark development that you have in those areas, infrastructurally speaking, I do not know the financial details and all that, but go around, except for people who don't know what the state capital and Ikenne and Ijebu-Ode used to look like. Are the people who will not appreciate what is done. But having said that, the greatest setback that we have in Nigeria, is that these are examples that have been set by previous political leaders. Obasanjo started this.
Yeah. Okay.
When he was going to exit power,
Okay.
it was a Yar'Adua that it was a preferred choice amongst all the other people. He chose a man who was not interested.
Okay, one moment, please. Let me go to Abia State. And no, I'm not going to be speaking to... no, it's not. It's not Mazi Okorafor in Abia State. There are other people there. Chuma, for instance. Good morning, Chuma, in Abia State.
Hello, good morning.
Thank you for calling in. How do you see it?
Please, I want to talk about Okorocha's issue.
Yes. Go ahead, please. Chuma?
Please, I want to talk about Okorocha issue.
We want to hear it. Go ahead.
If you see what is happening in Imo State, you will understand that Okorocha's interest is just for him to put in his.
Well, again, you were advancing an opinion there that, because we've said here that there's nothing patently illegal about a sitting governor having a preference. But you can't install that person against the will of the generality of the public of that state. And the people of Imo State. And indeed, in this instance, your party, you can't single-handedly do it. And that seemed to be what has come across. And that seemed to be what the president was not successful in getting across to the gentleman, since in spite of the president's best efforts, they still are... If the word is attack, because they're still attacking Oshiomhole, after the event of the peace
They have
moves.
gone as far as saying they will remove Oshiomhole from office because of that.
Okay, all right. Well, let me go on a commercial break so we can come back and not be distracted. We can take as many calls as we want and also hear all the comments that you want to make. Stay with us, please. We'll be right back. Okay, it's not the same thing at all. We're looking at the whole matter about some governors, quote unquote, losing out, although I don't like that expression about losing out, because they have won. They are governors. They are serving 8 years and all of that. But still, they're not happy that the person they would have preferred to succeed them didn't make it at the polls. Now, it's not quite the same thing. I think in America, Trump, it is his son-in-law that was speaking to the Crown Prince of Saudi Arabia the other day, yesterday. So it's not the same thing. Quickly, people will say, no, that's different. But let a president come and put his son-in-law here. Let the president come and put it. You know how it's going to be. So we're very, very sensitive to those things. And in spite of this sensitivity, people are still going the way we're going. Is it that we have liver, Evans? Is it that we have liver or what? People know how sensitive we are about certain things. Nepotism, religion, and all these kind of things. We know what those sensitive issues are.
If our cities Nigeria is a developed country, most people will not even think of who you are putting where, when, and how, because it will not really make any difference, because the economy is working, the states are vibrant and all that. But where you have this kind of failure, the governors already failing, and then having failed the people, having not kept their promises, they still want to install, their success.
Although I don't know that we can say that of the people's name, whose names we are mentioning now. I don't know. As I just wanted to say, just leave it.
I know.
I'm not saying they have. I'm not saying they haven't. But
because the states are not developed. So
okay. Justice in Abuja. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, Aguilar.
Good morning.
This is my first time getting here.
Oh, we're delighted to have you. Thank you for getting across.
What I have to say is this. We have to give more support to Oshomole, because he has done tremendously well. And the media is not even helping us too. Rochas are not the rest. These are the people bringing the democracy down in this country. In my opinion, I would like a situation where the masses and the media give more support to Congress Oshomole for us to move forward on this our democracy. We have to be balanced on whatever we are doing. For example, Oshomole got no interest in Imo State. I don't see the reason why Rochas Okorocha is putting up advertisements all the media against Oshomole. That's my own opinion.
Thank you very much for contributing it. It's not, this thing that we're talking about has come to the fore because these are very eminent people in society. You can't miss them. But it's not as if it's just them. So it comes to in fact, every state, every governor is interested in who will succeed him. The balance, I think, is trying to make sure that your choice coincides with the party's choice.
But
how you will do that?
I don't think that's...
Well, the people, yes, secondarily, unfortunately. Let us say it.
But
let us say it.
But in your state,
never mind the people. It's the chieftains in the party that must be satisfied in the first instance.
But in your state, for instance, they had their primaries before us here. And a meeting was called, all the aspirants, and said, look, we all want one family and all that. We're going to have this primary. Whatever is the outcome, let it be accepted by all. And today, they don't have all this rank that you have and all that. So there's an isolated case that we have in Imo State, even though you cannot say that. I mean, in Adamawa State, I read somewhere, and I also heard that the president's wife was upset and made a scandalous or near scandalous statement after his brother or whoever lost out in the primaries. I think that we need to arise above all those sentiments. Nigeria is not for sale, because it's only in a place where you are putting items for sale that you can make those, you can have those kind of emotional attachments to positions that are not internal. And like I said before, this thing started during the Obasanjo era in PDP, where he provided a very strong leadership, but was also showing these examples that are now being copied.
And calling it at that time a family affair.
Yeah. Then he came to somewhere in Lagos where he was campaigning and was saying that this election is a do or die. Those are examples and words that have been put in motion that is holding us down. Just that we don't recognize that those words are part of the issues that we're dealing with, and those examples that we have shown in the past.
Exactly. It's gotten almost to the stage where these positions are not really seen as the positions of service to come and work.
Yeah,
they're now seen as positions of honor, as prestige, as if it was a national honor. Yakub in Dokwemu, good morning, sir.
Yeah, thank you, Shivyori. And good morning to your guests in the studio. Shivyori, you are talking about two characters here. Let me talk about Governor Okorocha first. But before I say that, I'm very, very happy that Oshiomhole become the party chairman. I didn't be, it was former chairman. Shivyori, I can tell you with sense of responsibility that these two governors could have their way. But the kind of person that Oshiomhole is, you cannot just buy him over. That is what is paining them. But if we are talking about Governor Okorocha, one thing I know the governor Okorocha knows to do best is to talk. To talk because he knows how to talk very well. What is the problem about somebody become the governor of Imo State? Now you want to impose your in-law. I can tell you, Shivyori, if provincial Governor Okorocha have his way, and then the in-law of the governor become the governor of the state, they will not last for 2 years before the governor divorces his daughter. That is the truth, because they are going to fight. That is number one. Number two, Okorocha went to Mr. President yesterday, and then when he came out of Mr. President Palace, he was telling Nigerians that because his preferred candidate lost the ticket, and then the APC has lost 5 million votes. How did he come about it? What is the parameter for him to let us know APC has lost 5 million votes? I dare disagree with him. But when you are talking about Ogun State governor, Shivyori, this is a governor that took somebody's ticket in person of the senator, I forgot the senator, that is supposed to go back to the Senate. And then you collected the ticket, and then you become the flag bearer of the state to go to Senate. Are you getting it now? And then you still want to inspire another person to become the governor of the state. One of your guests said something earlier that if you go to Ijebu and all those areas, there was development there. I will applaud you to come down to Ifo local government and then come back to the studio to come and tell us what you see in Ifo local government as well. Because Ifo local government, it was the biggest local government in Ogun State, and then not still happen in that local government. I can tell you that. So, Shivyori, the board of contention here is that kudos to Oshiomhole, it should head on to them. If they don't have their way, if they want to leave, because Mr. President already persuaded, and then they are still angry. If they want to leave, there's nothing you can do to somebody that is aggrieved, is already to leave. Let him live like that, and then we support Oshiomhole to carry on. Thank you, and God bless.
Well, thank you very much for calling in. Yeah, these are signs of a crack. Matter about...
Yeah, but, you know, talking about it for local government, it just means that because the state is a continuous concern, the next governor should come, and because I'm saddened to hear that place is is still the way it is.
It is what it is.
I used to go to Ilari a lot.
It is what it is.
Sometime this year when I went to the place, when I was coming back, I came through the express. But I think that place has been left for too long. By the way, to be candid to this government, there's a whole lot of work going on that axis, on Abeokuta, but it's been there for since the days of how many years? Since 20 years, that place has been like that. So the next governor who is coming, who is a citizen of that state and not an alien from London or from Ireland, should develop that place, because this other houses is averagely touched up. You know, I went for a burial the other day in Ikena, and I drove to a certain point. The road was good and all that, and I think that it should be continuous. That's why you have a continuous government, but not imposing somebody who is going to come and cover your back and not do any work.
Okay,
we don't want that.
Okay, these governors are, you know, Yakub reminded us that Governor Okorocha had alluded to some political capital, you know, 5 million APC members, possibly thinking of them as APC potential voters that the party would have lost. Now, I imagine that whatever anybody feels, these are things that are going to have to come and be addressed, interpersonal relationships within the party, so that they have the much needed unity. For now, look,
that statement must be, sorry sir, that statement that he made, that he claimed that he made, if it's true, it should be made by the party to reconcile, because the question that you must put to voters is the Southeast registered voters. How many are they? They are not up to 8 million. They're 7 point something million.
So I was making the point that unity, everybody knows. You don't even need to know too much to know that unity is crucial if you're going to achieve, you know.
If you are looking at the state from where the party sits, in most states, it's not a convenient ground for that party, given that we're in a place where we are not really wholesomely accepted. So I don't think they should jettison Okorocha, as the last caller said. I think diplomacy it's better for you to have them stay, even if they are not happy. Pacify them in a way.
They should stay within.
Yes, stay within. Pacify them in a way so that you can maintain that spread you have even in a region where ordinarily it's not the very convenient place.
But also you probably identify with the notion that people should just follow the rules. It doesn't matter who you are. These rules, we can't be having one rule for sitting governor and one rule for an ordinary member of the party, even though I know that is theoretical and that they will go the other way, but still, this is now bringing it too much into the open that my wish was thwarted, and it's not going to be well as a result of that. Benga in Ijebu-Ode, good morning, sir. What's going on? I lost Benga too. I'm so sorry, Benga. See if you could get back in. I think I lost...
When Mr. President was having this meeting or dinner with them, as a leader, what were the images that he was presenting? Because, words convey images. Some of our people in this country, when you are talking to them, your words should convey images of Naira and Kobo. Yes.
That's not President Muhammadu Buhari.
Well,
not President Muhammadu Buhari.
Maybe it's a stingy fellow or a stingy president or someone who does not understand how people in different cultures think.
But
there are some people...
You should give them money.
It's not it wasn't as straightforward as that. It wasn't as straightforward as that.
No, I don't even...
This is where you have to read between the lines.
Compounding the issues. You're trying to put what's in my mind. I'm saying to you that if you are talking to some people in this country and you're having a dinner, the dinner itself was based on invitation.
Yes.
So when you were inviting people to dinner, what did you say to them? You say, let's talk over dinner, Abi.
Yes.
They see food. Now, you are engaged in this discussion or in this negotiation over dinner and all that. What are you presenting to them? Because the way some minds work is through, some of these images. The people we gravitate towards Naira and Kobo positions, prestigious positions.
I said not Muhammadu Buhari.
Well,
I said it. So it's good you contributed that one because it is a factor of Nigerian politics. But I think everybody will agree that Muhammadu Buhari, President Muhammadu Buhari, he was trying to be a father now. Say, look, guys, shift your swords.
Images that are...
No, you can't really tell what exactly had gone,
But we know the theme of that meeting, which also was a dinner, to have a convivial atmosphere.
So, for instance, and I'm also there.
It was an appeal for peace.
Absolute peace. Peace that is predicated on what?
Well, justice. Justice.
He's saying it should come with value.
Exactly.
That's what he's saying. But, we can't sit here and actually say what has really transpired in terms of what the values were and all that.
There should be peace, that we should not scatter.
And he's speaking as an outsider.
Yes, but still an appeal for peace. Guys are, should I use the word disgruntled? Well, you guys are that. Now, how do we ungruntle?
I think that is what it should be. But these governors are made already, so I don't think there should be any of these. No, that's how I see it. That's how I see it.
But guys, I think the more important objective would be let there be no split in the party. Anywhere. Because a split starts from somewhere. You never know where the crack will extend to.
Yes.
And Liberty in Ogba wants to join the conversation. Good morning, Liberty.
Good morning, sir.
Thank you for calling in. Go ahead, please.
Good morning to everybody in the studio.
Good morning.
Sir.
Please, I just want to get some clarification on some issue. I've been following this Okorocha matter for some time, but there's something I'm missing out. I knew that there was a primary election conducted, which was disbanded by Oshomale. I knew you organized another committee to go for another election, which the same candidate of Okorocha won. I'm aware of that, but I think there's a court order again that came after that stopped that action. If I'm right, why is Oshomole not coming out to the public to explain that, I've done what the party asked me to do, I've done my job, but the court is the one that stopped Okorocha's candidate from going ahead. It's not my fault. I'm only respecting the rule of law. I'm respecting the court order. Why not coming out that the fault is not for me? The Okrocha should not be blaming Oshomole for what happened. If I'm right, because I knew the story I've been hearing, I think there is a court order that stopped that candidate for the second primary. Unless you want to please explain to me better, maybe there's something I'm missing out. But if that's actually what happened, duty of Oshomole, because Okrocha is sponsoring a sponsor program on AIT, blackmailing and trying to spread his view, making it look as if it's Oshomole that is the problem. So let Oshomole also come out and say, yes, I did what I'm supposed to do, and we condemn the nation,
I think he has done so.
but the court stopped your candidate from going ahead. So please wait for court order. Unless you want Oshomole to go out against the court order, and which he himself said in the press release that Oshomole should respect court order. So I believe Oshomole is really respecting court order. Unless I'm wrong, please
Okay.
explain better. Thank you.
Thank you very much for calling in. Anybody want to, maybe you want.
Well,
Look at that.
he's right, because there have been back and forth, and the court has made certain orders for which parties are expected to obey. And Oshomole, being the chairman of the party, have also followed the line of the law in this regard. And because
Okorocha is saying that they weren't obeying court orders.
Yeah, no, I mean, Okorocha himself is not really talking about the orders of the court. He is aggrieved. He said the party did not respect him as a chieftain. That his ideas and what he represents is like he practically took the party to that state. He's shortchanged. He felt shortchanged. That is exactly what he's not so concerned about the court, even though there are court issues, okay, where even his own party have been.
He just has an expectation of the man, because they made it possible for him to. It was the governors who rose against the former leadership, stood behind him, and eventually he materialized. He became whatever. But an answer to Justice who called from Mogba, my answer is that every time a child receives a knock on the head, it's not because the head has done wrong, and I think that's the situation that Oshomole finds himself. And he has said once.
Okay, let me take my second call from Abia State. And if I have two calls, and the first was not Mazi Okorafor.
The second one will be.
The second one will be Mazi Okorafor. Good morning.
Honestly speaking, sir, what is happening now between Reuters and Amusu is it looks one kind like how will I say, press and well-wishers show. Because these are the two people that campaign for Oshomole. Now, Oshomole has come at the top. What they're supposed to respect the chairman of the party. Now, let us face right. It is not a must that the governor must dictate what will happen in the state. Look at what happened with PDP before. What happened with the PDP? Because the governors were dictating who will be senator, who will be this, who will be that. At the end of the day, where is PDP? Now, you see how PDP they are campaigning because of what that power of impunity. They should say no to all this spirit of impunity, because I see no reason why any governor in any state would dictate what will happen for the party. It's very, very wrong. What does it mean about the masses that's there? So no governor has any right to dictate for any party. The chairman of the party is the ultimate. You must obey the chairman whether you like it or not. That how can the governor open his mouth and say, without me, that the party cannot? Is he God? Nigerians sit down and start up the king God as if they haven't got the opportunity to be in the government does not warrant you that you are this and that. Thank you very much. Have a blessed day. They must respect the party. Internal democracy is what we're in this country. Have a blessed day in Lagos.
Thank you very much for calling in. The thing is, convention. We've become used to how we organize, manipulate power in our society here. There is a quote-unquote Nigerian way of going about these things. There are guidelines, there are party rules, there are all of those things, but every other person thinks that generally that doesn't affect me. That doesn't affect me. There is how we will do it.
And that's the arrogance.
And now Oshomole is saying it does affect everybody. I'm not taking anybody out. How far Oshomole himself can go with that particular line about
that's
it will
exactly
affect
how it should go.
everybody,
He can
no
go
matter
all the
who
way.
you
I can
are.
tell you, maybe you are not aware that Oshomole single-handedly went to Edo State when it was not conducive to do so, when it was not fashionable to do so, when it was politically wrong to do so. He single-handedly went to Edo State, challenged the sitting governor, challenged the powers that be. He was rigged out, went to the tribunal, and he won, and all that. So those are the credentials that he has that made them to say, okay, you know what, let's whatever.
But isn't it, it's too early for APC to, well, although we understand the genesis of APC's rocky relationships with most of its key players, it's about how the membership
I think they
came
believe that
together.
he's indebted to them by
Yes.
the support that he got and all that.
Let me not try not to lose Tunde in the UK. Good morning, Tunde.
Yeah, good morning.
Okay.
How are you?
Thank you for calling in. Very well, thank you.
Yeah. You see, now what we are seeing from abroad is that a lot of governors, their backs are pushed to the wall, and now they are reacting. What I mean by that is this. You see, a lot of people have contributed to this discussion that is going on. But the most important thing is that they don't only need to call, but they need to spread this news to every part of Nigeria and inform the masses that governors, senators that are pushing against the party, especially APC, with the way they're going, watch out, and these are people that you should not vote for. It's because not everybody can understand can understand English or what we are trying to discuss. Due to you can see even the educational sector, their level of, I'm not insulting their intelligence, but not everybody will know the nitty-gritty of politics because they have been starved of education for quite a long time. This is showing now, if you don't mind me digressing a little bit, this is showing now with the minimum wage, which I know is not part of the discussion, but we can see that in the long run, they are going to be forced to rejig the Constitution. They are now forced. Now, if you listen to what Wike said, look at that 52% that is going in there. Transparency is coming in. So no matter how they fight to repel it, it is pushed back onto them to say, now look inward. Now they are fighting to look inward, but they resisted it. When they say corruption is fighting back, now we are seeing it. But let's wait and see. Let's watch this space.
Okay.
There's an explosion. Let's hope not, but there's something that we cannot see visibly. Have a nice day.
Thank you very much. Well, I think it is generally well known that, first of all, people advocate transparency in all our actions. Yeah. That's not going to happen. Politicians abhor transparency.
Accountability.
Well, I won't say they abhor that one. That one is another danger that they have to look out for. But the transparency aspect of it, people know that but politics by its very nature is not always transparent. There's a transparent side when we come out before the cameras. But people know that there are all sorts of arrangements that are going on behind the scene. And if you want. And that is why perhaps these two gentlemen are saying, Abba, there are rules. We know these rules. We won't exactly call them rules outside there in broad daylight, but we know among ourselves. How come it is now failing when it is my turn?
Yes.
And it is not failing, other people are allowed to be.
Yeah, and that's because also the governors have not learned that the electors or the political dynamics have changed. One of the best things that happened in Nigeria was the change of government, okay, in 2015, when we changed, when the opposing, political party became the ruling party, and now you now have a change. Now the electorate have tested the former ruling party and the now ruling party, and now they are reaching a resolution as to who are our leaders really. Is it all about them? Now, the electors are different. It's a different dynamics altogether. But the governor seems not to know this.
Not to have realized that.
Yes, that everything is no longer the way it used to be.
We've run out of time, but Chuks, would you agree that the dynamics are different from the conventions that we've been used to? Or it's really between 6 and half a dozen?
I
Looking for a difference.
I think that the issue that we have is that of bad behavior
Okay, let's just enough said. Since we've run out of time, let's just leave it like that.
On that, you have all
So
this
there's room
regard
for improvement in that regard.
Absolutely.
And meanwhile, I suppose ABC doesn't need to be advised. It has to get its house in order as we go forward into the electoral season. You don't want the last thing you want is an own goal. You know. So thank you very much, gentlemen, Mr. Chukwumoko and Mr. Evans Ofeli. And that is our program today, and indeed for the week. Hope you have a great weekend. See you on Monday, God willing, with a fresh edition of the program. I'm Yori Folarin. Bye-bye for now.